Lonk. Okay, I'm bringing in Lonk now. Andy, thank you so much for the question. Really appreciate that.
Yep.
Lonk, how you doing, brother?
Hello, I'm doing quite fine. How are you doing, Accolonn?
I am doing very well. Thank you so much for asking. Before we go, Lonk, let me just quickly, because Super Cider have been super chatting. Thank you so much for the super chats. Super Cider, really appreciate that. Blizzard are mostly arrogant backers, sadly. It's silly that it's necessary and stupid. Super Cider, thanks for the super chats. Really appreciate that. And sadly, I have to agree with both of your statements there. So really appreciate it. All right, Lonk, the floor is yours.
Alright, so my question is, would WoW story and player base benefit from having side storylines for DPS, healers, and tanks, like role quests? Not necessarily doing a quest for every class, but doing it for the roles.
For the roles, yeah.
So, yeah, like the the FF game has them too. So those work in WoW right now.
Yes. I anything that you ask me concerning more content in World of Warcraft is always going to get a yes from me. WoW desperately needs more content. More specifically, World of Warcraft requires casual content, and I realize a lot of people hear the word casual and they're immediately like, oh my god, he's talking about the horrible people that don't know how to play. I am not. I'm talking about the average player base, the majority of the player base that plays video games because it's fun. They don't spend, they don't split their time of playing World of Warcraft equally between Ask Mr. Robot, Warcraft Logs, and Mythic Plus. They just play the game because games are meant to be played. And for that player base, the content in World of Warcraft is pretty fucking abysmal. And just before I get any of these WoW Andys coming at me, oh, but what about Mount Farms and Transmog Farms and Paid Farms, dude? What are you talking about? There's plenty of casual content in World of Warcraft to do. Wake the fuck up. Every single MMO on the market has Mount Farms, Paid Farms, and Transmog Farms. And then what every other MMO has is all of the extra content for casual players that World of Warcraft doesn't fucking have. So if we put World of Warcraft against all of the other games in the market right now, at least the top 5 MMOs on the market right now, World of Warcraft is the one, all things being equal, that has zero casual content. So if we took all of their casual content and we start listing it, right? This is World of Warcraft's list. You can farm transmog, you can farm mounts, and you can farm pets. Congratulations, you have it. But then we go Guild Wars. You can do all 3 of those things, plus then a whole list of other things. We take ESO. You can do all 3 of those things, plus a shit ton of other things. Then we take Final Fantasy. You can do all of those things, plus then a hell of a lot more. So in a normal graph, World of Warcraft has no casual content because it's equalized for the amount of casual content that it has compared to all the other MMOs. And then the other MMOs start from that point on, and they all climb, whereas World of Warcraft remains fucking static with no casual content for the casual player to do. So that argument doesn't make sense. More specifically, role quests, I think, give you a lot of time or a lot of space to be incredibly creative with what you're doing. Considering the fact that you know that the only role that is going to partake is tanks or healers or DPS, it allows you to really shape the encounters the players are going to have around what they do well, the story that players are going to have around what you want them to feel. So throughout that story, you want the tank to feel like that epic guardian. And you can build the story for that, which a DPS might not want to feel like the epic guardian, right? It's kind of like, I don't know if you remember in World of Draenor, we had the, what was it called again? You had to be like silver in order to go into heroic dungeons or some shit like that. What was it called? The trials. Do you remember the trials, Long?
Yes, a little, but not very much.
The trial, you went in as your as a DPS, and then you would have to complete a bunch of fights as a DPS, with each of them getting harder and harder and harder, basically using your entire kit in that fight. So as a warlock, you would have to fear one guy, stun one guy, use your heals really well, specifically on the gold one, where it became a little bit more challenging. So it was really designed to challenge you as a DPS, so that they made sure you work and you know what you're doing. So you could very easily incorporate something like that into these quest lines. But I'm interested to hear in your mind, what you see these role quest lines looking as, Long.
So I would like to see that each faction would have their own role quests.
Yeah.
And the role quests would primarily focus on the old world. And they would be like, you go to Stormwind, you meet with a general or something like that.
Yeah.
They give you a quest to prove yourself that you're worthy of being one of the champions of Alliance.
Yeah.
Then you go on
quick,
the quest.
long, Horde. Just right. Wrong faction. One of the champions of the Horde. Yeah. You can continue now.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be in Stormwind.
yeah, but we've conquered Stormwind. That's where the story is going. The Horde is going to conquer Stormwind. So yes. Okay.
So you would get the quest. You would complete the quest, and you would meet important lore characters. Well, not all of them, but some of them during the quest, to ask for their guidance on your quest to become good at your role or decent at your role.
Okay.
Yeah, and that would have you get to know the characters, and also it would help your gameplay.
You're basically referring to what you do in Final Fantasy right at the start, where you have to, you go into that arena and then you fight a bunch of different things in the arena. You're talking about something to that effect, right?
Yeah, close to that effect, yes. But it would not be in one place. You would go around the your faction's main cities.
Yeah.
So you would get accustomed to your own faction, to know your faction, because these days, who cares which faction you are? You're probably Horde if you play this game.
Yep.
So
that's why I said, wrong faction. It is Horde. The Horde will conquer Stormwind, and you'll go talk to the Horde Council in Stormwind to get your class, your role quest started.
So that would give new players a possibility to get to know the heroes, the main characters of the story, because right now new players, they won't know the story. No way. If they don't watch lore channels, no way.
Yeah. I would say, Long, I liked your idea when you first started talking. I love your idea now that you're finished. Because I never even thought about this. We've had multiple conversations here about the starting experience of World of Warcraft. And in every single one of those conversations, I've always said it is one hell of an undertaking, because Blizzard will have to redo the entire storyline of the earlier expansions in order to make sure that new players actually know what the fuck is going on. But your idea solves almost all of those problems, because basically what you have a new player do is they start on the island. As soon as they're done with the island, they start their role quest line. The role quest line, maybe as an Alliance player, you are sent to meet with Matthias Shaw. Matthias Shaw has a small quest line for you, which ends with you meeting Lady Jaina. Lady Jaina has a couple of quests for you, which allows you to get to know Lady Jaina, but also allows you to sort of, see what Lady Jaina's role within the Alliance is. After that, you end up talking to Anduin, right? Or maybe it ends with Anduin. So after that, Lady Jaina actually sends you to the Night Elves or the Dwarfs or the Gnomes, and you do quest lines there, and you get to meet all of the most important characters from every single one of the races in World of Warcraft, and it all ends with you meeting Anduin, and Anduin now declares you champion of the alliance. So you give players that idea of helping conquer or helping the alliance, and therefore you're now a champion of Azeroth because you've helped the alliance. This allows you to then go to BFA, and suddenly you have, you have a nice story in BFA where you don't feel like, who the fuck is this lady with me here? I don't know who this lady is, even though Jaina is well known to every sort of veteran player. You wouldn't know who she is if you only just started playing WoW, but now you do know her because she sent you out on a couple of missions and you saved Azeroth. And I'm almost thinking about a similar questline. You know that questline that existed where you had to punch Deathwing? I forget now which zone it was in. It was sort of a very funny comedic little questline where you end up punching Deathwing. So you do something similar, right? So the player saves Azeroth from some giant thing, and thanks to you saving Azeroth from this giant scary boss, you're now the champion of Azeroth, but also a champion of the alliance, right? So you do something to that effect. And because you're doing it role-based, so it's not based per class, you just have to design 3 quest lines where you introduce a player to this, and it's only really needed at the first time that you play. So as soon as you have a character at max level or a character that's already complete that, they never have to do that again. I love your idea, Long.
Yes, or they can choose to do it again on a different class in a role.
Yeah, it will always be available, right? But as a player that's already done it, you can either, so now if I wanted to start a new character, I could choose to start on the island, or I could just choose my starting zone that has nothing to do with the island. So this is similar. If I start a new character and I want to start on the island again, I start on the island again, right? And I go through. So I think that would be amazing. I like it.
Yes.
I love the idea. It's a band-aid fix, right?
Yeah, it's a band-aid fix, but still it's better than what we have now.
Oh yeah,
and it would give them time to rework the game.
Yes.
They wouldn't even take that much time to do.
No. I mean, you can use literally, because we know that there are throwaway assets in World of Warcraft, assets that's worked on and never actually makes it into anything. Use the throwaway assets, because you are designing a completely sort of side story that has actually nothing to do with World of Warcraft, but you could very easily tie it into World of Warcraft. So rather than I have an idea. So here's what you do. The first quest you get ends with you killing Cthulhu. The second quest you get ends with you killing Illidan. The third quest ends with you killing Arthas, right? So you kill all of the bosses that you've done up until now, and the story does a small little thing. It's a very small story that just sort of recaps everything that you've done in the game up until now. So the player has a reasonable idea of what the main story of World of Warcraft was in sort of very broad strokes. I mean, all of those bosses exist right now, so you don't even have to make new bosses at all. And then the player gets to max level, they've met all of the most important people in their faction, and now they go to BFA and they understand everything that's happened. Why could you not make that work, right?
Yeah, that sounds great. That would be the ideal way to do the band-aid fix.
Absolutely. Alex says here, I have to admit I was respecting FF14, but that wasn't a game I would like to try or play. I started 2 days ago, and damn how wrong I was, not wanting to play FF14 sooner. Alex, welcome. Welcome. Yes, we all know how that feels. I hate myself for not starting earlier myself. Anyways, Long, do you have anything else that you wanted to add, or is that it?
No, that's it. I think that was pretty good. So thank you for having me, and have a nice evening.
The same to you, Long. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Take care of yourself, bro.
Take care.